Roosmarie is an expert in sustainable fashion and textiles and founder of the digital platform Clean and Unique. Welcome, Roosmarie.
Thank you.
So, before we start, we always like to start with a personal introduction of our guest today. Can you please tell me who is Roosmarie? Can you maybe describe yourself in 3 words? Might be difficult.
I think I'm honest. I love to have respect for everything, for human, for planet, everything. And I love long-term relationships.
Okay, that's great. That's definitely a match here, I think. And on a personal level, what drives you in life? What are you passionate about?
I love that everyone gets a right income. I love that everyone is happy. And that drives me that when I see problems, I want to solve the problem as well.
Okay, great. Uh, well, for me, you're kind of a guru of sustainable fashion and textiles. You already have an outstanding career in that field. Can you maybe tell us a little bit about your journey?
Yeah, my journey started while I was studying ballet on the ballet academy. And during the ballet academy, I found out that I love to have this 360-degree approachment. That I was not only a ballet dancer, but I was thinking about the music, about the costumes, about the light, also what was within what it was for the audience. And when my career had to stop because I fell down, so I was not able to have ballet and to do ballet anymore. And then I stepped into the world of the costumes, and I found out in the supply chain that the same approach I had in this ballet career, I could also um, uh, take the step towards also the supply chain, so that everything is related to each other. So I love to have these steps. So my interest not only for design and to sell it, but also the steps in between. We call it today design thinking. Um, yeah, now we give words to it, but it is really in my nature. So from there, I was for 10 years a buyer. I saw all these problems in the supply chain and I want to do something about it. And I started my own company in 1991, but I sold it also again in 2001. And that was the big step that I stepped into sustainability as what I did during my own company career. Someone from PricewaterhouseCoopers say the world needs you to show that it is possible to have a good supply chain, to implement efficiency, but also to have good circumstances for everyone who is in this supply chain. And of course, I had to learn a lot because I was graduated in fashion and in supply chain management, but not in human well-being, not in environmental things. So I had to learn all these steps by myself. So I did a lot of courses, workshops, but I'm so eager and interested in what is could be the best for this sector, for the industry. So I still learn. So it never stops. So
Lifelong learning.
lifetime learning, yes. And so I learned a lot of at Amnesty International, but I add also my expertise. And this is what I did also with the Fair Wear Foundation. I learned a lot, but I add also my expertise from the industry. I learned a lot from fair trade as a cotton manager, but I add also my expertise. So there's always a win-win situation for both. I bring something, but I get also something, and that makes that I also learn, and it stays also very interesting for me to make new steps again.
Okay, great. Let's maybe zoom into the definition of sustainability. You already touched a little bit upon it. We know it's some kind of container words, but what does sustainability mean for you?
Yeah, I hear many times sustainable fashion, but sustainable fashion for me doesn't exist. Sustainability is long-term relationship with your manufacturers. It's to think about who made the clothes, under what kind of conditions. It is about the environmental issues, where it's the raw material comes from, and to make a draft for yourself, what's the best for it, for your product. But always the first step is this design thinking, and you can put your company in the middle, but you can also put a product in the middle from where you start on the design. And so there's not a hardcore sustainability definition for me.
Okay. And can you maybe share as well who or what inspired you really to turn into this advocate for sustainable fashion and textiles?
Yeah, probably my parents. I grew up in the 60s and the 70s, and environmental issues were already there. And we discussed also the human rights, but also women rights. We discussed that also at home. Of course, we had the oil crisis, we had the banking crisis, and all these kind of crises made also that it is an inspiration for me how I look the world. And peace for me is a very important pillar. It's for everyone, I think, but as you can see now, peace is far. And all these challenges we face nowadays makes us to rethink. And I think that also the inspiration is to rethink systems. That also this is inside of me, that if you face an issue, that you start to rethink, hey, we face this issue, how we can handle this issue to become more efficient, to be cleaner, but to also to stay your own uniqueness. That is so important. And not drifting away from that. And this is the challenge. And I like that kind of way of thinking constantly, also to inspire, to be inspired.
Okay, can you maybe in those inspirations share a success story that you remember where you were very impressed with in the industry?
Oh, there are several, but I think I was working for Max Havelaar for fair trade, and they asked me to help them to implement the fair trade cotton in the European market. And of course, you think very fast. You think about the fashion industry because you want that there will be the change. But to see how to implement it in the fashion industry was very difficult, because you have all these collections, the colors, long-term buying time that you have to order already a year before, etc. And my daughter in that moment, she went to the hotel academy, hotel management. And I was thinking, the hotel management, that could be a good market, the bed and bath linen, because it's white. Yes, there are collections, but not like in fashion. And my team was very enthusiastic to research the hotel industry and how the supply chain is from the hotel linen industry. And we made a campaign, and till today, we are more than 10 years further, on the Dutch market, on the Dutch hotel beds, there are still 80% of the bed and bath linen is fair trade. So it's a campaign what's ongoing, but we are not into it anymore. It goes by itself because everyone in the hotel industry loves to have the hotel linen from fair trade and organic. So I think that kind of success I'm always searching for, that it's not for the short term, it's not a project, but a long term. And it made really a shift in the hotel linen industry. And recently also on the repair. Repair is of course one of the first of the R ladder. And I implement here in Amsterdam, we start to work with a city pass, and the city pass is used by people with a small budget every month, and through the city pass they can have 40% discount on repair. And it's implemented 3 years ago, and it's still going on, and now you also can come to repair your shoes. And the next step is that also a lot of brands, they say, okay, when it's repair, it's low-hanging fruit. We have also to design differently because not every garment is made for reparation. So that is a kind of a success that we all want to see. That because of one step, you switch the radar and everything goes in working. And I hopefully this can become bigger because in France it's implemented as well. So I hope that more and more brands are also to think about the design. So this kind of steps we can make as soon as possible as well.
Yeah. And it's great to see in your success stories as well, again, the long-term vision, which you talked about in the definition of sustainability as well, that it's not just a short-term project, but that the impact needs to be there for the long term. Now, we spoke about achievements and success, of course. There are some challenges as well that you must have faced while promoting the sustainable fashion. How have you overcome those challenges, and what are those?
There are still some challenges. I didn't overcome some. And we have to dare to be critic, also to be critic to ourselves. A few years ago, you saw that PET bottles were implemented in the fashion industry. Environmental organizations and researchers found out that this was not a good idea. And I can imagine that if you started a company to make yarns from PET bottles and you invest a lot of money, that it's very painful to see all these critics about it and to switch again to something else. But we have to stay critic and also to dare to open our mouth and to write down on LinkedIn what your vision is. And maybe a lot of people are not so happy with it, but we have to improve ourselves, and we have also to challenge ourselves and to think that we want to do every day a little bit better. And that's not to accuse immediately the people, but to see, hey, but we do something wrong. We have to make another step. So, and to be open. Yeah. And I think that to be open and to be curious and to start a conversation, that makes that you can face also challenges.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in building these kind of transitions, openness and communication is a crucial part of it. I totally agree with that. Can you maybe also explain a little bit about what you see as essential elements that are needed for this transition? You talked about openness, criticism. Are there other points that you think that are needed for the society to make that shift towards sustainable textiles and fashion?
Yeah, I think we have to talk with each other. And
communication is key. Yeah.
yeah, but the real talk, the one-to-one talks, we can see a lot of talks with the panel talk, and then everyone listen to these three people maybe in front of your face, and everyone is in silence, and then there's a network drink. But we need real talks. We need, again, round table talks in small groups, and to come back to each other and to discuss what we think without to accuse the people, but to in an openness, and to be really honest to ourselves, and also to face some problems, and also to admit that we do not need probably something. So why we need more? And now everyone say, yeah, but we have to grow. But maybe you can grow in another way, not to grow in finance or to grow in quantities, but to grow to offer other services, to offer take back systems, and to see if there's another business next to your own business. And I think when we have really this open up conversations together, we can also challenge each other, but also to make bigger steps. Because
Okay.
I feel really that a lot of people are afraid. If I do this, then happens this. But we do not know. Maybe something happens very positively for you.
And that's the core reason of entrepreneurship as well. Take a little bit of risks and take a step instead of finding an excuse not to take any steps. I think that's a very important point there as well.
Yeah, but we need also the investors over there, and the investors. It's still an old school business. They first prove before they invest, and we need also the new investors. And I'm very happy to see that there are already some investors who are open up and they try at least. So that's good to see that they are there to open up also their eyes and say, okay, we have to make this swift. They can't do it alone, so we need to help them. But next to it, you need also new regulations. So for this, I'm very happy that in the EU last week, the new regulation on due diligence came up. And hopefully that will help also that greenwashing is going out of business, that we truly can show what we are doing, even if we do something wrong. A beautiful example is Tony Chocolonely chocolate. They are not 100% perfect, but they say what they do, where they have to work on it, and they are open face also that some issues they want to tackle, that it's not possible. And so I know that also in the supply chain, living wage is such a delicate thing, and it's not solved within a few years. So, but if you can show to your customers or to the world that you are working on it, that you are making steps on it, that is wonderful. Another example for my Fair Wear Foundation time is that, for example, unions are not allowed in China. So what Fair Wear Foundation started, it was in the factory, that in every line of where the machines are and the girls and the men are working, that one person could be a spokesperson for those girls in that line. And these people, they come up also together. So it was not an official union, but there was some unification in the factory. And they come up with, hey, we want to have to change this. This has to be in a different way. So and then because it's all about the communication, it's not that you have a stamp on it for you do good or you do not good, but it's the innovation, the steps you want to do better in your place, because at the end we want to be proud about our industry and not to be ashamed.
Yeah, I totally agree. So, Rosemary, we also have a very specific reason to have invited you today as well. We're very happy to also last month have announced a new collaboration with Ellie.Connect. Can you also share with our listeners and viewers why do you believe that this collaboration with Ellie.Connect, together with the work you have been doing for many years, is a logical fit?
Clean and Unique, we started 17 years ago while I was working for Fairwear Foundation, and it was growing. It was also innovating itself constantly, but it cost also a lot of investment. And of course, I was also searching for more digital tools, but then we found each other. And I face also for the next 5 years, I hope we collaborate together. But then I will retire, probably. Although I never think that I will
I don't think
100%
so.
be retired. But then I believe also that you have to work in collaboration, in partnerships, and to work with what is here already. So why I have to innovate a tool when it's already there. So we know each other for a long time. We share the same values, and for me, it's very important that these values are the same in a collaboration at the first side, and when Clean Unique or when I retire, that also everything what I did can be go on in one way. So I hope my footsteps can go on in Ellie.Connect. Yeah, and that's really a good reason. And yeah, and I know next to, so because Clean Unique is more focused on the startups,
Mm-hmm.
and on the innovators, and I think that now the pillar big embrace small. Now it's also the time to connect these two kind of things, and I think that in that road we meet each other very good.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the synergies between startups and already existing mature companies in the textile and the fashion industry is a very important lever. I also would like to say is that the idea of learning of each other is also, you mentioned that already in the previous part, is a win-win situation, definitely for both our ecosystems. So I'm definitely together with the Ellie team looking forward to this cooperation.
Of course, without this digital possibilities. So when I was starting Clean Unique, I was dreaming about a Clean Unique in not only in Netherlands but also in Spain, in Germany, etc. Then, of course, the development of the digital world. Come now that you only need one platform, for example,
Yeah.
and in that one platform you can meet and also to organize the personal meetups per country, and you don't need to have all these platforms because we have too much platforms nowadays. And I think that it's not a good thing, because you can see also that it costs a lot of money to set up a very good technical platform, and I'm very impressed about Ellie.Connect, how you developed your platform. And so I think if there could be one Ellie.Connect platform, but you have ambassadors in several countries to set up the human part, to connect and to see each other. I can see this for the future. I can see this happening.
So we're definitely looking forward to our further international growth and collaboration, of course, with Clean and Unique as well. What do you see particularly outside the international impact that we can facilitate as well? What role platforms like Clean and Unique or Ellie.Connect can play in this industry? How can they help the transformation for you?
Now, yeah, this is what I love also from the Ellie.Connect platform, that you have this challenges possibility. And also yesterday I saw a lot of questions coming by from people I do not know, but I am able to react and to say, hey, I know this company, maybe it's good to connect with that company. And I think this helping hand and to be open and transparent to each other and not to be afraid and react on this kind of questions, that will be very helpful.
Yeah. So definitely for all the people watching the episode as well, if you do not know what challenges Roosmarie is talking about, please have a look at www.ellie.connect.com. Have a look, because there might be a challenge that is interesting for you or your company as well. Thank you, Roosmarie, for that. Definitely, we see a bright future in inspiring, informing, and connecting further together with you as well. Maybe to look a little bit towards that future, can you maybe elaborate a little bit on what you see really the biggest challenges in our textile and fashion industry? What would that be for you?
What I see now is that during the transition, a lot of startups, they innovated or they bring some solutions to the market. The bigger companies, they were looking at it. And now these innovators, they have to make the bigger step. And what I see is that they are not embraced by the bigger industry. The bigger industry, they look at it and they do the same, but not asking these innovators to help them or to work together with them. And I think this is a very wrong thing, because these people, they spend 5-10 years on an innovation, and then thank you, and oh, you're bankrupt, I don't mind. We have to take care for each other.
Yeah.
And that means also that this big embrace small. Also, I want to do really a call for the bigger companies. If you are in need for an innovation, look if that innovation is already there, and embrace that innovation. Maybe take it over or something, but do something together so you can be there both.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like this statement as well. I want to stress it again. It's not only about the beginning days of the startup and the innovation, and maybe a pilot collection for the bigger companies, because I think pilot collections might be the new greenwashing in the future. But they need, during the whole lifetime of the company and of the startups, they need as well support, being it from finance partners or industrial companies, to just buy their products. I think it's still the best advice or help you can give a startup is just buy their products. So definitely want to stress this message again with you as well. Let's talk about the vision of the textile industry, other than the pure challenges. What would be your vision of the future, say in 10, 20 years? How will it further evolve?
I'm very happy that we, the governments in the world, are facing now a big problem on waste. And of course, it's stupid that we have waste, especially waste from the food industry or for waste from the textile industry. And I hope that because of all the awareness, but also about new solutions, that also consumers, they are going to consume differently. And we need now every half an hour, I think one container dumped with a textile anywhere in the world. And we were thinking that it was only Ghana or in Chile, but we hear now a lot of dumping streets everywhere in the world. Even in the Bosporus, they found in the forest a big textile dumpings. So that means that we have to do something about it, because the earth gives us food. We have to face this kind of things differently. So what I wish is that within 10 years we do not have waste anymore. So you have to think that every garment after 7 years it's been discarded, or you give it away, or you throw it away, or whatever. And I hopefully with all these new innovations, with the track and trace, with new material solutions, we do not need to throw away anymore, or we have the attitude as a consumer not anymore to throw away, but we have the attitude developed that we bring it back or to a shop or to the textile bin, and that we can make other things about it, and that we do not have waste. Because I think that will be my biggest wish, and because many governments are facing this and they want to work on it, but it's up to the market, of course, to have a free market to innovate on that.
And I think this is where working together with Ellie.Connect as well, between Clean and Unique and Ellie.Connect, is really to make a positive contribution in making this work by connecting on circularity and just inspiring on this transition, and hoping and acting that it will accelerate and that it will go faster than it was foreseen. Thank you very much, Roosmarie. Could you maybe, maybe we're at the end of the episode, and with, some advice to the inspiring or aspiring professionals that want to make the difference today? What advice would you have for them?
Yeah, I think that you have to look into your own supply chain, with who you work, make a top 10, and make steps with them at first. And be totally honest to yourself with what you bring onto the market, and for who, and make every day a better day for yourself. And I hope if you can have this contribution to yourself, that you want to do every day a better step for this industry, then together we can make really an industry we want, and that we can be proud of. Because I think that makes that for me, that I want to go out of my bed every day.
That's great. It's great to hear, and I hope that a lot of listeners will be inspired as well by that message. Of course, now you're talking to a big community here. If you would have one call to action to them, what would it be? What would you like the community to give back to you, or what can they do to improve the sustainability?
Go into your own closet and see what kind of garments there are, the ones you the most love, and what you can do with it, even if it's broken, and to repair at least 3 of them. And be the example you want to see in the world.
Okay, that's great. It's a great call to action. We can continue on that. Maybe we can also ask them to post a picture with their favorite repaired piece of clothing. Thank you for that. Thank you, Rosemary, first of all, for a very inspiring podcast, being an inspiring guest on our Ellie Talks, but also thank you for partnering up with Ellie.Connect, because I'm convinced that together we can do great things for this beautiful industry. You feel the passion that you have as well. I'm sure that works for the listeners as well. So to everyone listening today, please subscribe to Ellie.Connect.com. You can always review the episode, leave a comment, and of course, stay tuned for more engaging interviews. And let's continue to do great things together. Thank you.
Thank you.